Hello, everybody. How's it going? If the mic sounds a little weird, I'd been playing with it for a while, trying to get it right, but I went from having it on a boom and had all the sound set up just right so you wouldn't hear me clacking on my keyboard and everything, and now it's on a mic stand, like an actual desk stand. So I got some stuff to figure it out with it yet, but here we are. Here we are. Iterus P plus free fly tomorrow. What could possibly go wrong? Who knows? What could go wrong? What could go wrong? Yeah, no, yeah, the coffee cup it sounded so bad, but now it's on a mic stand now. So, you know. So the cargo grid is messed up. How do you mess that up? How do you mess that up from one patch to another? Yeah, I was using this coffee cup to hold my mic for a few days after I set up my new desk. New desk is nice. It's just the thickness of the desktop, and then the actual like support rails that go all the way around. It's too thick to get my boom arm on, and everything's else like that. Yeah, I can. I played with it for a little while, but I didn't fix it. I just didn't fix it all the way yet. Hire CIG devs and they can mess everything up. I wish that wasn't true, but yeah, that's pretty true. That's very, very, very true. Yeah, my back was bothering me, so I went to the doctor today and got some meds, took the meds, and took a nap. Yeah, he's a sound engineer. Kinda, just kinda. He he plays Star Citizen. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, yeah, he does the sound design stuff. I haven't I need to get I just need to sit down and fix it. Isn't it called like an audio file or something like that? An audio, yeah, something like that. Sometimes when he runs out of games to play. At least that's what I hear. Anyways, that's what I hear. Honestly, I haven't played.
Long remembered.
I appreciate that, Allergic. I do. To be honest with you, I really don't have I really don't have an interest in playing Star Citizen lately. Like even the ship that I really wanted came out, and I like meh. Like I don't know. I don't. Oh, it's an insult to your profession. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, MVP, minimum viable product, or something like that. That's what they say, right? I like I said, I just don't have a an urge to play it right now. It just does not something doesn't feel like something doesn't feel right about Star Citizen since about 3.22.2 was out. Like I don't know, like right around then is when everything for me kind of just went away, right? Cargo, the way you handle cargo is what's up, Marcus? the way you handle cargo just pisses me off. Like I just I don't like it. I really don't. Like pirating is already time consuming to, you know, find somebody. And then when you get them, you got to move all the cargo off their ship to your ship, then fly to another location and remove all the cargo again. And if they don't take it all or the elevator screwed up, you got to put it all back on your ship and fly to a different location and try again. Like, I don't know. That really is off-putting to me. What's up, Diz? How you doing, man? Marcus is right. There's still no vehicle elevators. You know, we're going on, it'll be a year in August since the personal hangars dropped, and we still don't have vehicle elevators. And remember, when they told us it was delayed, they were this close, and it just needed some polishing. We were this close, but they just needed a little bit of polishing, just a little bit, just a little bit. And it's only going to be a couple of weeks. Master mode's just completely is so off-putting to me. Like I like it really does not. It just does not feel right, and I don't know if there's a way to fix it. Right. So I think there's I take that back. There's maybe a couple of ways to fix that, and I think it starts with slowing the velocities down and maybe dialing the range back on a lot of the weapons, right? On the ship weapons. And then I've been thinking about this for a while. Like, I don't think you need to increase top speed per se, but maybe increase acceleration. Maybe. I still feel that you need to decrease the top speed going backwards. Like I think ships flying backwards at max speed is kind of ridiculous, and that should not be going on. Like I really don't like that. I don't like that ships can just fly backwards over and over and over again, like continuously, and they can keep you at distance. And I just don't like it. I don't like it. I never have liked it. Right. So even when we had the old flight model and we could just fly backwards as fast as we want, like I didn't like it back then either. So, you know, this is like not a new thing for me. Real mass simulation. I think that would be good, but I also don't think there's anybody that could program that competently. And I'm not trying to like shit. Well, okay, I guess I am shitting all over CIG's development, but yeah, I don't think they have anybody competent enough to do that. Right? That they haven't shown me they're very competent in doing anything except running the pledge store and making marketing. So, yeah. That would be, yeah. They've talked about that, Mew. They've talked about it, but as with a lot of things in Star Citizen, there's a lot of talk and not really a lot of doing. So, you know, I don't know. Flax were supposed to be used on the normal hard points. I wouldn't mind flak guns, like, but once again, don't get me wrong. I am a big Battlestar Galactica fan, and all of the space battles that they have where the Galactica uses flak to create a fighter screen around their ship is absolutely amazing. I think it's some of the best visuals. I mean, even for a 20-year-old show, like, I think visually it's really pleasing. I would also, so like once again, you know, I've been here going on 3 years now. I like the game. Don't get me wrong, the game has changed drastically from when I first started playing, but I don't think it was all for the good. Like I really don't think it was for the good. I think gameplay has gotten worse over the 3 years than when I first started. Oh, they did? I didn't see that. I didn't see that. Oh, they were almost done. Like everything's almost done, right? Like everything is almost done in this game. And I don't know. I find it kind of shit that we go through this over and over and over. Like, you know, before I got here, we had 2 or 3 different flight models, and then we got master modes, and it was shit. And I remember everybody giving me a hard time saying it's going to be the best thing ever. You know, before I booted up the game, about 6 months ago, I purged a lot of my friends request or friends list on Star Citizen. I had 137 friends ish on there. And when I purged it at the time, which, like I said, was about 6 months ago, it was a Saturday night, 8 p.m. my time, 4 people of 137 people online. 4. And three of those 4 people were in my group. So there's got to be a point here where they have to look real long and hard and be like, this is not working out anymore. And I don't think, like, it doesn't feel to me like any of this is working out anymore. Most of the people that I used to play with, after master modes and the hangar stuff, like, they all left. Like, they're all gone. I don't, like, where'd they go? Did you see they plan to rework Squadron 42 flight model so it will be easy, it will stay in line? Yeah, that's another thing. Like they keep saying it's feature complete. And if you're still working on a flight model, how is Squadron 42 feature complete? Like, that does not make sense to me. That does not compute at all. How is that game almost done if they haven't settled on a flight model yet for Star Citizen? Because one is supposed to jump into the other, right? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't get it. Maybe I'm just old and wrong. Maybe I'm old and stubborn and set in my ways, and I like to play video games that are fun and not a chore. Like, not too long ago, I was asked how I felt about the cargo stuff, and I said I don't like it because I spent 14 plus years either being a warehouse supervisor or a warehouse worker, and it is not fun to me to go into a game and play warehouse simulator. Like, it's not fun to me, and I don't like it. Right? I did it for years and years and years. I don't want to go into a game and do it. Right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am just hard to please, but I would rather just, when I'm in my hangar and my ship is full of boxes, to just go over to the ASOP terminal or my warehouse terminal and hit a button and just say auto unload, and it gives me a price to do so. And I shouldn't have to wait an astronomical long period of time for it to sell and get moved off my ship. Like 5 minutes maybe at max. Enough time for me to leave the ship, go get some cruise lux, go get some food, and come back. Like, I don't know. And I feel the same way about the inventory too, right? We've been playing games, most of us, right? Most of the people that are in here first got, like, really sunk into gaming, and I'm using this as a general term, around 1984 when the Nintendo Entertainment System came out, right? We have had working inventories from 1984 until 2025, and yet here we are with Star Citizen and CIG, and they can't figure out an inventory. They can't figure out an inventory at all. Like I don't get it. Like I would really like to see a good inventory. I don't mind the paper doll stuff, but that new inventory system, and I'll be the first one to tell you, I was like, "Ooh, this new inventory system is going to be great." When they showed it at 2023 SitCon, I was like, "Oh, this is going to be great. This is going to be great." So, and then I got it, and I was like, "Oh, this is not great. This is not great." And why is it that so many other games have gotten an inventory system that works and doesn't even have to, like, it's not what's the word I'm looking for? It's not convoluted. You don't have to know that you have to stack things in order to move it out of the box that you have, or stack things in your inventory to bring it out of your inventory to put it in the box that you have, etc., etc. I don't know. I really don't. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, I did hear about that, Grumpy, that you can QT to your own ship markers now, and that is pretty cool. That's really cool, but I think they're a few years late on that. Also true. Also true, Grumpy. Also true. What's funny is it's a quality of life that should have been in the game a long time ago, but now it's in the game because they have an Icarus to sell, right? An actual, like, from what I understand, the Icarus is coming in like what, 2 days, 3 days, or something like that. So yeah, we gotta get those Icarus sales in, right, boys? Gotta get those Icarus sales. I'm assuming it's I hate to be that guy, Guardian, but, and welcome, by the way, but it's because they have Icarus to sell, right? Tomorrow, ah, like I said, I don't know. Like, I really want to play this game, like actually play it and enjoy it, but like I was telling you guys, almost all my game loops are dead and are way too. It's not complicated. Like, don't get me wrong, it's not complicated, right? It's pretty self-explanatory stuff, but it's convoluted in how you do it, right? I want to go and run bunkers and I want to collect gear. Okay, well, now I have to bring a box with me. All right, fine. Let's not do that. Let's go do pirating. Well, now I have to move boxes 5 times in a row. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know. They'll start selling sorting blades, then they'll fix the inventory system. Pilot can control weapons, but that will be cut in a bit after other folks get into the Icarus. Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know. There's just not a lot of fun left for me in the game. You know, I've been playing, you know, Last Epoch. I've been playing I think Galga was my first game I ever played on an Atari at a friend's house. I think Galga and Pitfall were my first games I ever played. Yeah, I seen that. I seen it go as higher than 500. Like I said, like my new ship's in the game, and I have no I have no want to like get in. Yeah, Greasy Khaleesi posted a on Twitter where it was like 560 player bounties. Alrighty, so let's
God bless
start
those
this
pagans.
stuff. Yeah, it was like 560 player bounties. Let's watch some stuff, huh? We'll save one of these fat files for near the end. You know what, let's watch the Star Citizen Beijing thing, right?
Hello everyone, there was a bar citizen in Beijing.
So this is Carl, or Kamerl, and and he's talking about the Beijing thing. I didn't watch a single second of it.
China, on May the 10th. CRG actually sent some people to Beijing. Tyler Wittgen, Aaron Roberts, John Crew, and I don't know if this is Sandy. Maybe Sandy was there too.
I think it's Sandy.
I cannot find any information about this. CRG showed a video they made 6 weeks prior there, and it's very, very interesting. Some people use their phones to make a record. It's not exactly very good. Sound quality is not very good, but I'm not complaining. This is very nice that we have this. But I heard we are getting the full video soon, so I think I won't show the video. Instead, I will just tell you what important things John Crew said.
You have a room which has a seat, bed.
I wonder if one of the important things that he said is it won't take 7 years to finish the backlog of ships. I wonder if that's the big news.
Toilet, military ships, 5 real-world military ships, and everyone doesn't have their own quarters. You have bunk rooms with shared mess and galley.
Ocean Odyssey posted this on Spec.
All right, toilet play coming soon. You guys heard that, right? We got toilet play coming. Oh yeah. Now if I can drop that dookie, like open up the thing and drop the dookie, like make dookie bombs, I'd be very happy with that. Maybe I'll come back to drop dookie bombs on the people of Orison.
Spectrum, link to this is my first pinned comment below. Further notes from John Crew, bar citizen Beijing. All ships in the near future will be nameable. Of course.
Oh, that makes so much sense now. That's why everybody has letters and numbers in their names, because they're gonna want you to go buy a ship nameable token. That's what they plan on doing. That's what they plan on doing. So you got your Gladius, you got your Star Lancer, you know, your Vulture, you know, you want to have your ship's name on there, head on over to the pledge store. I'm sure it'll be cheap, like $20 or something.
Of course, this was already the plan. The question is, what does near future mean? When it comes to CRG, near future can mean 1
What's
year.
up, Canna?
It can also mean 5 years or 10 years. DOS will be strengthened to make breaches harder. Yeah, right now, DOS and hatches are a joke. It's very easy to shoot them open. You can even use your fists, and you can open doors and hatches and ramps. Again, of course, no timeline.
I mean, that wouldn't be too bad.
Missions designed exclusively for capital missions are planned. This is very nice. I was hoping for this. But again, don't expect this anytime soon. Torpedoes will have a minimum range to prevent their use
That's going to be hilarious,
range.
Marcus.
Yeah, right now, PTCs on Polaris and 819 pretty much make torpedoes useless, so people use them at very close range, point-blank range, and then they could get a kill. CRG doesn't like this, so this will be...
Oh, so the torpedoes are going to have a minimum range to activate and detonate. Ooh, that sucks. Well, good luck taking out the invincible PDCs. So now, oh God,
be gone. I would like to add that it's very hard to destroy PTCs. I did a test. I was not able to destroy any PTCs. Maybe they don't change form when they are destroyed. Let's assume PTCs don't change shape when they are destroyed. It's still very hard to hit such a small target. Idris M will have superior armor to P. And of course, Idris M has a
armor?
big railgun.
Are we gonna
Most
have
people
armor?
who own an Idris only have the P model because M model is not sold anymore unless you are buying the very expensive packages. I mean, in 5-digit range. But CRG always told us we will be able to upgrade our Ps to an M. Please keep your word, CRG. Turrets will receive additional buffs to make it easier to shoot smaller ships. However, this requires additional weapons to differentiate further between ship sizes. Actually, CRG could just increase projectile speed of turrets, and CRG could make turret movements a lot more snappy. What's bad
What's up, Meek?
This was much better in the past. Javelin will have a resistance to smaller weapon sizes, with size 5 and up having a normal impact, size 4 having a reduced impact, while anything below that will have no hope.
Interesting. But what about the size 25
I always
arrow
hoped CRG
torpedo?
would go for threshold damage, so I kinda like this. For example, in real life, you can have a rifle caliber machine gun you can fire at a battleship all day long. You won't sink the battleship. Capital ship shields will be able to regenerate despite incoming damage as long as attacking ship or ship weaponry are below a certain threshold of weapon size.
Okay, that's interesting.
Have to wait and
That's
see how this
interesting.
plays out in the game. Of course, capital ships should not be pushovers getting destroyed by light fighters. Flak is coming, which act as AoE projectiles that are specific.
It's so funny because we were just talking about the flak, and Grumpy said it was almost done in 2020. Now, I haven't seen that video. I haven't seen them talk about that, but that's pretty cool. Maybe they'll actually get here soon.
Specifically designed for use on capital ships against smaller vehicles. They will be automatic, similar to PTCs. Okay, more automatic things.
I'm not sure I like the
if I
automatic.
like this. And this needs to be balanced. For example, right now it's very hard to destroy PTCs. They are very small targets. Now, PTCs shouldn't be one-shot kills at 5,000 meters. A confirmation that additional game packages are still planned to represent an additional character NPC. I believe this when I see it in the game. 1.0 most likely won't even have NPC crews.
No, they won't
and
have
1.0
NPC
is not
crews.
exactly just around the corner. After avionics plates come AI plates. CRG is showing plates on the current Invictus on the PTU. Some people hope,
Hey,
oh,
JT,
no, we are
thank
getting
you.
Finally plates
I'll make sure
for
to take 'em
turrets.
out with
Reading
that.
this,
I'll take 'em out
I don't
with
think this
that.
will be
Thank
anytime
you.
soon. The Javelin will
Really
not have
appreciate that,
enclosed
man.
hangar to pack in. I think this
Suck
means
my
Javelin
Scrabble
can only
ship.
be spawned at a docking port. Star Citizen in year 13 is still clip galore. It's very easy to clip, glitch into almost
How do you guys feel about the avionics blades, right? Now, the AI blades I've been wanting for a long time. The ability to fire remote turrets from the pilot seat would be fantastic. I think that would be great. But I'm not sure how I feel about the avionics blades. I think it'll change the game quite a bit. I just don't know. Look, give it 2 days to a week and the PvPers will have a meta, the PvEers will have a meta, right? Right? That's what it's really going to come down to is, you know, give it a few days and people will figure out what's best, right? I don't know about the avionics blades. I thought we were going to actually have to tune the actual components of the ship and not just slam a blade in there. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it.
any ship with an interior. So people will just clip into a Javelin and run away with it, because we still don't even have any permission system. CRG is talking about a permission system. Captain of a ship can set permissions, who can do what. For more than 8 years by now, still nothing.
So with with ships like Icarus and stuff like that, not only do we need ship permissions, but I think, you know, we need org permissions as well, right? Because not all of us can afford to buy a Javelin, right? So if 1 or 2 or a dozen people in an org have a Javelin, and they should be able to grant permission to somebody or a group of people to use it if they're not online, right? But if like let's say I had the Icarus and I was online, and say, I don't know, Cosmic wanted to borrow it from me and I'm already online, he couldn't just go to the screen and push a button and get my Idris out from underneath me. You know, it would tell him, you know, you'd have to ask for permission from me. But I think we're still a long way away from that.
PTCs will continue to shoot at attacking spacecraft. Okay,
I kind of
this
agree
was
with you
not
there,
an
Marcus.
accident. In the future, crimes will eventually result in UAE retaliation, all the way up to Javelin level responses. Translation: in the future,
But are they going to slow boat it like they used to? Right? They don't jump to you. Like if you jump away, they don't jump to you. They slow fly to you.
in 5 to 10 years from now, ship missiles will be able to be loaded internally, including the upcoming PTC counterparts, utilizing a space similar to the currently available freight elevators. Looks to me like more boring, tedious manual labor.
Yeah,
More
sounds like
things?
it. That's
Or
exactly
can this
what I
be
was thinking.
automated? Can NPCs help with this? The eventual release of the player Javelin will be fully armed, including its 2 size 10 main guns. CRG always told us, you are just buying an empty hull, you have to pay money to put the weapons in, and now she's coming fully armed. I think that's a good idea. Javelin is
Yeah.
expensive enough as it is. Eventually, there will be a way to earn A-tier components through PvE.
So once again, like getting A-tier components from contested zones, I never had a problem with it. I never had a problem with it. The problem that I had with it was there was no other way to earn those. So if I didn't want to go to do contested zones because I don't know, that particular server shard sucks, or all of those areas suck right now because whatever update or patch is available, I would like another way to do that. It doesn't have to be just PvE or just PvP, but some way other than just contested zones to get A-tier components would be fantastic.
Eventually, in the future, we are planning to.
I don't want that.
This anytime soon. Perseus will be flyable come IE, with its main turrets replaced with 2 size 8 hardpoints. It will also have 4 PT.
Can you? I wouldn't know because I don't play the game anymore. I just talk about it. It's fun to tap on the glass and rile people up because it's funny as fuck, honestly.
PTCs and 2 dual S3 remote turrets. So we will get Perseus very soon. I don't know why CRG replaced the guns. Perseus was supposed to have 2 turrets with 2 size 7 guns each. I'm looking very forward to do a lot of tests with Perseus guns. Apollo is in active development. Remember, Apollo was on a useless program.
I thought the Apollo was in active development like 2 years ago.
Tracker many years ago. Progress Tracker, a tool that does not track any progress. Don't expect too much anytime soon. Also up.
And what do we need? Like, here's the thing. Like, I don't understand. I'll push your buttons real hard, Jim. Ooh, baby. But here's the thing I don't understand. Why are we getting more medical ships when there's almost no medical gameplay? And there's no reason to have a medical ship other than to use it as a respawn area if you get killed. And you don't even, like, there's no consequences to dying right now. Like, I thought there was no no consequence to dying thing, you know, before tier 0. What was it? Item recovery got introduced was okay. Like, you were losing time and that was really it. But I really don't like the way this is working out. I really don't. And yes, I know it's tier 0.
Apollo has rescue drones. CRG has to work on drones first, I think. Pioneer will not release this year. So much for people who thought, hey, cool, in 2025 I can build my own large base. Maybe next year, maybe the year after.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting base building at all this year. Like, I don't think we're gonna get it at all. maybe next summer or fall, maybe, and that's a very hard maybe from me. I think base building would definitely pique my interest though.
Or the year.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Pagan told me, and I think even Grumpy told me, that long time ago they had drones, but they were causing a lot of issues with the servers, so they got rid of them. So once again, if I remember correctly, one of either Pagan or Grumpy told me that when you landed and you hit repair, the drones would come out and like fly around and fix your ship. And now it's just push a button and your ship magically repairs.
After. So Polaris control panel will most likely be moved to the upper level. It was a terrible idea to put a torpedo controlling station down in the bottom of the ship. The guy doesn't even have a seat. I guess he will just fall down on his butt because of fast reactions. And he has very limited view, very limited tactical awareness. I get it, CRG doesn't want Polaris to be soloed, but a guy who fires the torpedoes has to be on the bridge. Elevator speeds will increase at some point. I hope he is talking about ship elevators too. Those are really slow. Takes forever to spawn a ship. A consolidated outline medium-sized ship was confirmed. Okay. A larger than a Javelin battleship is being worked on in the future, currently split between going to Aegis, Anvil or RSI. She also talked about the previous battle cruiser, referenced to the stretch goals as being sold at some point. CRG always said we don't want to give players too much power, so Javelin was the max a player could buy, but now we are getting a battleship sometime in the future. I guess $3,000 for a ship is not enough. Let's make another ship for like $5,000 or $6,000. I don't think that's a good idea for the game. Javelin will be getting the previously mentioned flak weapons. Of course, makes sense, it's a Javelin. When asked about E3P, John Crew was intentionally vague, saying that the answer on its release will become clear at Invictus this year. Yeah, looks like we are getting E3P soon. The updated E3 model will not come until Squadron 42 releases properly. However, they note the differences are minor internally. Nautilus is out of date mechanically and isn't worth thinking about right now. I would like to add, turret placement on Nautilus is really bad. No gun turret is protecting her rear, and laying mines in a 3D environment is very situational. I don't think this will work well. No. And of course, CRG hasn't even worked on mines yet. Vando Cleaver is not going to be flyable, as it's just a cutscene in Squadron 42. An orbital airdrop module is desired from John Crew, but it's not currently in the card.
An orbital airdrop would be really cool.
Means, but we surely need working escape pods. And we need a way that pilots who have to bail out of their ships can survive even in atmosphere. This means we need parachutes.
We need parachutes or rocket jetpacks.
A larger interceptor ship will appear. Oh, another new ship. Javelin's torpedoes can be used as a cruise missile, however, it cannot be guided. They say that it's maybe in the future for human-guided missiles. Okay, why would I use Javelin's torpedoes as cruise missiles if they cannot be guided? Is this a joke?
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
We have a game that's playing 900 years into our future, but technology for the most part is way worse than what we have today or what we had 50 years ago. Thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye. Auf Wiedersehen.
Bye, Camerl.
By the way, this is a 1G planet, this is a 70-ton tank, and look at those physics. This is the best CRG can do in year 13 with more than $1 billion, according to Carl Jones. Yeah, there's no mass simulation, no inertia, vehicles are just pivoting around the central Z-axis, and this thing jumps around as if it would be made out of paper. Yeah. It's really annoying to use ground vehicles in this game. I love to drive in games, but not in Star Citizen. Hey, you're still here.
Alright, thanks, Camerl. Let me share this with you guys. Oops, I put that in the wrong thing. Oops, sorry, Grumpy. Nova drifting? Yeah, exactly. Alright. Let's find this video from Grumpy. Yeah, of course
You
it's
might
going
know
to
Harbor
put
Freight
it
for
on
affordability.
my other...
What you might not know is performance
Come
and
on.
durability go right along with it.
Bring it over
you
here.
See, we test and
So this is
Landing mode engaged. Landing request approved.
this is old school.
Automated landing initiated.
Wait, we had automated landing? Why did they ever get rid of that? I like these pads.
Activated. Landing gear deployed. Landing complete.
Stay a while and listen.
starting repairs now.
Here come the drones. See the drones? You guys see them? See the drones?
Let's get you filled up.
God, that was... How many years ago was that? 9 years ago. That was 9 years ago. 9 years ago. Think about that. Just think about that. Alrighty. Let's find another little video. We'll do another Star Citizen one. Let's do this one by Space Tomato. So this is Space Tomato, and he's talking about the soft reset of starter ships. I mean, for a lot of us, it doesn't matter, but for the newer player, it does, right? How you doing, Chase?
So the pledge store is getting an update. Okay, so the first thing that pops up is none of this is the freaking starter package for $45 CIG. Where is it? Huh? There it is. Here it is. It's hiding. I don't understand this, dude. You guys can't do this, man. It's probably not as big a deal as I'm making it out to be. I just like somebody who clicks into this will never know that the game is $45. They're gonna come in here. They're gonna, okay, this is standalone ship. Actually, never mind. These are standalone ships. These aren't even game packages. In that case, why isn't the game package on here? Why is it not the game that's being sold there? What's going on? I guess it takes you to this page first. But this still doesn't have the $45 package. This is the new players start here page. But they're not letting new players know that you can buy it for $45. You have to go to the pledge store. Not only do you have to go to the pledge store, go to the shop. This says customize your experience. I feel like I would just not click on this. I would, yeah, this is all in-game stuff. You wouldn't even go to the pledge store. You just click on play Star Citizen, and that just shows you $60 starting price. It's like it's like a soft price increase almost. I absolutely believe that the old, like the Aurora, you know, Avocado had an interesting take that I saw on Discord. Avocado said, or right, Avocado, you were talking about a starter RSI ship, right? And they basically just,
it's definitely borderline
kind of push
gray
the Aurora
area,
aside,
ethical,
and they're like,
business
you know what, just
ethic
don't even really,
like it's
don't look at the Aurora. Just kind of, the Aurora's in game. Yeah, but like, here, the RSI has another starting ship, and this starting ship from RSI matches the Cutter and the Intrepid. Is the Intrepid even 60? I think the Intrepid's 80. I think you're right, dude. I think they make a replacement starter ship from RSI and from CNOU, and they even, who are they even missing? Maybe they don't make one from Anvil and Aegis because they're so military oriented, but CNOU and RSI, I can see it. They make a $60 starter ship,
I can see
and
it
then
happening.
they just basically
I can definitely see this happening.
forget about their $45 pack, and they don't have to announce that they're raising the price of the game. Yeah, the game's $60 now. It's still not the $80 that Xbox is trying to charge, or the $100 for GTA, or $70 for whatever the heck else, PlayStation, I think. It's $60.
I don't know. Does it bother me?
I think they,
not really,
at the very
but
least,
at the same time,
could
like,
have the
for new
$45
players,
package here next to it.
It's kind of shitty that you got.
You can even
click
say
around
that you're
for it
not
like
getting
that.
as good an experience just let people know it's an availability. It's a possibility. That $15 can make a difference. And I still don't think that the game is necessary full price worthy for most people.
No.
They've still got a little ways to go for that. Just got to figure out some of those big bugs and some of the persistent stuff. But
big bugs.
I doubt they'll change that. Who knows?
Here's the thing that's really bothering me is I'd say raise your hand, but I can't see. Did anybody get wiped? I've seen some things on Reddit and Twitter saying that some people got full wiped. I don't know how many. I don't know if they're, telling a fib, but there's a lot of people that said they got full wiped this patch. And I thought we were supposed to have long-term persistence after 3.18 came out. Like, I thought that was supposed to be a thing, right? And then the first few months going into 3.19 and 3.19.1 and 3.19.2, was supposed to, like, they were fixing the bugs. Like, we really shouldn't be losing anything anymore. Yeah, allergic. I mean, I can understand for a major patch, like going from a 3 point whatever to a 4 point, whatever. I understand that, but like these little dot patches, we shouldn't be losing anything. Like no components, no nothing. Only in-game ships and bought shit. I lost 30% of bought weapons. Yeah, see, like, I don't know. I don't think we should be losing anything.
Hello, everyone.
Oops.
There was a bar citizen in Beijing, China,
No.
on May the 10th.
Stop. Go back.
Hello, everyone.
What time is it? Because I do have to go to bed early tonight. You know what? Let's watch Yamix. Where is Yamix? There he is. This is the Yamix. This is an old, I don't want to say old video, but this came out like a month ago. I don't think people are outright lying, Chase. I don't. I think there's always going to be a few outliers that lose stuff or get locked out of the game or get perma stuck in prison or get their head magically bugged so they can't put a helmet on, or when they even have a helmet on. Can't breathe and stuff.
I see you.
We'll see, maybe. Thank you for the follow. Yeah, and see, Guardian, I don't like that. Like, that should not be happening. That's, once again, that's true, Cosmic. They did tell us it was as simple as flipping a flag on it. And like losing the stuff that you're working for like executive ships and the Wilco stuff like that should not happen. That should not happen anymore. Like that time has long since sailed away, that we're still losing stuff. It's loud in my ears. Is it not louder for you guys, or are you guys pulling my leg and it's too loud? All right, let's see what the Yamix has got to say.
Star Citizen certainly has no shortage of ships or...
Oh, by the way, Yamix and Fair and it's way loud. All right. I'll have to go through and fix all that stuff. Because some of them are not loud, and then some of them are real loud. So I'll sit down and do a test stream and mess around with it. Not tonight though.
Handheld weapons, or things that can barely be called handheld. Over the years, it's been interesting seeing how developer CIG has attempted to balance everything, or lack thereof, when nearly monthly they keep adding new toys that either do nothing, impact the status quo just a little bit, or utterly upsets it until everyone starts using it like methamphetamine, and the new shiny needs a good whack from the Nerf hammer. Honestly, it must be a nightmare for whoever has to keep up the spreadsheet with stats. But hold on, are there any stats in Star Citizen in the first place?
Not
Well,
really.
a bit of wet fish. How can anyone make heads or tails of what they're strapping to their bodies or ships in the first place?
I mean, yes, there is stats, but not really. Right? And then like even in like let's say Call of Duty or Tarkov or whatever, they have the bar system where if you put something on your gun, it'll show you on the bars whether you have more ergo or more recoil or whatever, right? So yeah, we do have stats, but there's no, and I don't know, there's a lot of stuff I add on my guns that I don't feel like it does anything at all. Like the stuff that it says it does, I don't think it actually does.
Place. Hell, is Star Citizen even attempting to introduce any kind of game design when it comes to damage, time to kill, survival, or balance? Is Star Citizen even attempting to be fair? The more I think on this topic, the more the answer I arrive to is no. In fact, Star Citizen simply can never be fair or balanced.
Before he gets into this, like, I don't know if you could ever fairly and balance Star Citizen, right? With the amount of things that you can do with your ship, things that you can add on your guns, you know, eventually armor on ships, armor on your personal like on your person. Jeez. I don't think it's ever going to be fair and balanced. And then if you throw PvP into the mix, you know, you could have guys with the exact same gear, exact same components, exact same ships, exact same everything, and one guy is going to be better than the other just because they have skill or mechanical skill. I don't think this game will ever get balanced in the way people look at balance in other games, if I make any sort of sense. Like, I don't think that this will ever be a fairly balanced, fair game across the board. I just don't think it will be.
So then, the game balance. Why is it even important, or should a game even be fair in the first place? Well, objectively yes, and maybe for single player games, but certainly yes for anything with multiplayer PvP. See, we as people, gamers especially, inherently strive for some kind of a sense of fairness. You know, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. You give candy to a friend, that friend gives you an apple. You buy a house in modern day, but the price for it is bank taking your firstborn as a collateral. You know, like alchemy, equal exchange. Now sure, the real life really sucks ass and barely ever works like that, but with games we tend to implement our starry-eyed dreams and ideals, a better version of ourselves, so most of us have this expectation that video games should treat us fairly, or at least not punish us without a good reason, because that is how you make bad games. Now when it comes to multiplayer games, fairness is also an extremely important, and that
Like, I agree with him, but I also disagree with him. Like, there should definitely be a semblance of balance in, say, like games like League of Legends and Overwatch and things like that, right? But when it comes to, like I said, other games, especially Star Citizen, there's just so many variables, but that I don't think this will ever be balanced the way other video games are balanced.
That power fantasy from single player is no longer a valid way to do things. So then, returning to the topic, how does Star Citizen stack up in this? Yeah, it doesn't. Frankly, whatever Star Citizen's been trying to do for the literal past 10 fucking years is a mystery to me. It's so far tilted in one direction that generally I struggle to decipher the fever-mad nightmare that CIG has been trying to call its gameplay design, which has led me to conclusion: Star Citizen simply can never be fair or balanced. But before we jump into the bullshit that is Chris Roberts' best attempt at making a video game, let me be clear. I'm not referring to performance problems as a reason for the lack of said balance or fairness. Though, let's be frank here, desync issues for the ship combat or the stuttery mess that is the FPS is certainly not helping. But
No,
let's
it does
pretend, I'll make-believe that Star Citizen had never had any of those issues, you know? Let's pretend that we're chugging the Kool-Aid instead of water for a second. Okay, good. Now, to first see the reasons why, let's quickly run over how Star Citizen is supposed to be structured and what design philosophy is it using in the first place. Now, if you've not been around Star Citizen constantly,
I don't know if they
the
have
term
an actual
death of a
design
spaceman, soft
philosophy.
and hard ship death, or hell, even such a thing as insurance might raise bewildered confusion and utter contempt. So, how about I break them down for you?
No,
Now,
I don't
one
think he
day
has a
when
head.
Star Citizen is finished and everything is implemented according to the current plan, if
never
someone pops a
played
cap in your
Star
ass and you keel over like a little bitch, well, you're dead. I know, it's an innovative concept, isn't it? Your body drops with all the loot you had on you. Afterwards, you respawn in a hospital, and the only thing that you didn't lose are the credits. And here come the problems. Right now, it has been changed since 4.0, where you respawn with everything you had on you as a duplicate. So it's supposed to be a temporary fix only. Now, whether or not you go back and pick up...
I'm still really turned off by tier 0 item recovery. Like, I understand why a lot of people like it, and I don't dislike them for liking that, but I don't feel that this is a good fix for Star Citizen, its bugs, and I don't think this was a good place to start. I have a feeling we're going to hear a lot of complaints once we get out of tier 0 item recovery.
The lost loot is really up to you, or whether or not somebody has come along and looted it first. So death in Star Citizen is supposed to be a pretty punishing thing, all or nothing type of a deal. The concept is akin to extraction shooters like, say, Escape from Tarkov, which is another high-poly mega project in a sort of a similar vein, that's also not finished. Now, if you're really interested, you can read Chris's own manifesto on this whole thing, though it is kinda old, as he mentions such things as lives, but basically this is the general gist of the structure. Now, similar stuff goes with ships, but even more confusing
and you know my
barely
opinion on that,
explained.
Jim.
Basically, soft ship death is when functionally ship is dead. Like, for example, when you spilled the coffee in a circuit breaker, or stuck your dick in a ventilator. Fixing the ship should be possible, or at least one day should be possible.
With the SRV, we'll now be able to grab it with a tractor beam and pull it back
Unless
to
you're
a
in the
repair
armistice
station
zone.
and get it repaired instead of waiting for
Well, I
the
think they fixed. I
insurance
think they
payout.
changed that. I think.
The repair isn't in yet, so you will be able to move it, and but repairing, I think, doesn't, like, we didn't prepare for that yet. So there is no drop-off points yet with the SRV, but for the future,
would
that
love
will
that
be the
Cosmic.
case, that you have like the dedicated drop-off points where you can then fix the ships that you cannot repair on
I mean, it's
site
pretty
anymore.
close to, Jim, right?
Especially the bigger ships.
And allergic.
with,
That's been my
Well, the hard
thing
ship
for a
death
while
is
with
when
Star
you spill
Citizen.
your
I've
coffee
had
right into
nothing
the
but hanger
thermonuclear
problems
reactor.
whenever I try to play.
And here comes the confusing part. What if the ship gets stolen, exploded, or eaten, feated, deleted? What do you do then? Here comes the insurance. Now, if your ship is insured, like those pledge pages still mention, you get your ship back, or was it that you get your ship at no cost, or was it get money back? Oh wait, no, you get the ship recovered after a certain time. Wait, what?
We'll have two main taxes: inheritance tax as part of Death of a Spaceman, and security tax for your base that will cover the cost of planetary shield tech. Insurance, on the other hand, will be split between medical insurance, which covers your hospital imprints, and probably the most important one of all, ship insurance. Now, as we have Death of a Spaceman, we also need Death of a Spaceship. Losing your ship should be significant, and this is where ship insurance and our new warranty mechanic comes in. First up, we'll have
This
three
was
tiers of
more-
insurance. Now, insurance by
This was
itself
more
will
confusing
only
than
pay
it
out
needed to be.
credits based on the wear and age of your ship. Insurance with a warranty, though, will give you back a new ship, plus any other equipment or decorations based on the tier of insurance you had. Okay, so this is the bit you need to listen to. All ships bought on the pledge store will come with a permanent warranty and their appropriate insurance.
Yeah, it's
this
more
means
confused.
You will always get your ships back if they're attributed to your account. Other ships, on the other hand, will require a transferable warranty, and these are rare. Now, what about claim timers? It's another fun topic. And getting your ship back without a claim. Well, we want claim timers to be proportional to the crafting timers. This means it's more beneficial for you to go back and get your original ship. For this, we're going to be introducing a shuttle ship, just like a courtesy car. You'll be able to claim the shuttle at no extra cost to most locations. If your ship has been legitimately lost, though, then you'll need to claim it back. Okay, so we've talked about our 2 core progressions, but what does that mean to you as a player? Well, firstly, it means we have a framework where we can start creating cyclical gameplay loops, where we can start creating start.
Yeah, kind of like Eve.
I'm still fucking confused. And so are you. Now, beyond speculation and assumption, the whole ship insurance and the real-world limited time period insurance is so unexplained that even to this day, CIG and Roberts doesn't seem to know what the fuck this mechanism even is supposed to do or accomplish. Now, ideally, I could say that not insured ships could be lost like any other item forever, while insured ships would be given back to you either as a money thing or after a little bit of time. But even
you'll
that
sell those
much is an assumption involved speculation. Hell, even their
things
own
that they were
official
talking about that were
is
rare, they're going to sell those on the
extremely
pledge
vague
store.
concept. So let's just agree to never mention it like Voldemort, lest we be driven mad. And supposedly the same stuff should be working for your FPS gear as well, but... Now, the point being, insurance is bullshit concept and let's just ignore it for the time being. But the general gist is essentially that your character dies, too bad for you, you lose everything that you had on you. Your ship dies, well, maybe you can repair it at some point if it hasn't exploded, but similarly, it's a very steep all or nothing kind of a loss. And if you need an example, then it's basically the opposite of Dark Souls. If you die...
You're right, Cosmic. To be honest, they need to have a full ship repair system, and I thought that's what engineering was supposed to be, and they need to introduce that before they introduce Death of a Spaceship, right? Because if you introduce Death of a Spaceship without that, people are just going to be really upset, and I don't think that's gameplay oriented if you just explode ships and there's no way to repair them, right? I'm not going to be the one that's going out there and repairing ships. I'm just going to claim them. I'm just going to claim them. And if it takes, if the crafting takes 2 hours to make something, then I'll just log out for the day, right? If they have it linked to crafting timers and it takes 2 hours to get my ship back, I'll just log out for the day.
You lose every item on you, but you keep the money. And if you can go recover the stuff. Okay, so now we know the penalty of fucking up, but how hard is it to actually do that? Well, Star Citizen intends the time to kill, or at least on the foot, to be rather quick. No regenerating health, bleeding, and maybe one day limb-based afflictions as well. But generally it takes about this fast to kill an armored dude. While the movement, actions, and everything around FPS is intended to be animation perfect, or at least animation based gameplay. And if you know anything about those games that attempted this style, you'll pretty much know.
We're working to support a feel of authenticity through world traversals, running, jumping, and climbing, interactions with objects and the environment, solid weapon gameplay and enemy reactions,
I will say the Squadron
as well as combat
soundtrack
realities,
is quite nice.
such as
I
weapon
do like it.
malfunctions.
While animation-based design pretty much always turns into extremely jello-y, unresponsive, or slow-feeling, frankly speaking, mess. And boy, it's Star Citizen's first-person shooter feeling the jelly. As for ship combat, here the time to kill is a lot more drawn out. Well, sure, yeah, you can still kill certain ships quickly or hell, even instantly. The standard dogfight, even with precise shooting, may take a hot minute, or 10.
Oh, yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Have fun with that. And now remember, you won't be able to do this anymore. You'll have to go buy your very own Pitterus.
Now, basically, what Chris Roberts seems to want from ship combat is to remake Wing Commander, meaning that it is World War II space planes in dogfights, with loads of particles and guns shooting all over the place, with little to no assistance. Meaning fixed forward shooting guns with maybe a lock-on missile here and there, or at most view-oriented gimbaled aiming, but generally as manual as combat is possible, without being too overcomplicated for the space dad. And in recent times, with the introduction of master modes, the top speed of ships have been limited to 200 meters a second, with boost reaching around 500 meters at most. Now this is slow.
That's true. That's true.
To put it in perspective, Starfield, for example, tops out around 300 meters at most, while Elite Dangerous tops out at around 900 meters a second, averaging combat speeds being about 5 to 600. But what does that mean? Well, basically, the faster the speeds, the larger combat area is necessary, as well as further the engagements between the combatants is. The slower the speeds, the closer you get to people, and it's easier to hit them. So clearly, with master modes, that's what Star Citizen is attempting to do, to shorten the range between combatants. Now, even with those rather slow speeds, due to
okay. In theory, what he's saying is correct, right? But we still see the jousting, right? Master modes was supposed to get rid of jousting. It made jousting even worse. At least from most of the videos that I see online. Now, if you're talking about people that are PvPing other people that PvP, then no, jousting really isn't a thing. You do see them occasionally break or push through each other to try to get some shields or distance to reset the fight, but you're not seeing major jousting. Now, when you talk about people that are of average skill and lower, yeah, they're jousting all over the place. Look, jousting is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not a good thing either. There's ways to combat against people jousting, but if you're not a decent pilot, then you're never going to figure it out, or you're never going to be able to get good at it, you know. But yeah, there's a lot of things that Master Modes was supposed to fix that it didn't fix. And then, as a matter of fact, I feel like it made some things worse because of how far away shots can land and how fast the velocities are of the guns on the ships, right? So I think maneuvering and trying to not get hit is not really a thing anymore, unless you're going against somebody that doesn't know what they're doing.
Having small
I
ship
agree,
models,
flight is very
Star
terrible.
Citizen's combat still feels fast and further than it actually is. But personally speaking, it still sucks. Now, outside of combat, Master Mode split the navigation in 3 parts that all try to occupy the same space. The combat mode, with aforementioned slow and painful speeds with weapons and shields. Then you can switch to travel mode, which drops the shields and disables weapons, but increases the top speed to about 1000 meters a second, allowing you for a solid splatter on the side of a space station. And the third mode being the quantum travel mode, which is basically the automated, faster than light movement within the system.
That's not really a third movement, but okay. Okay. I mean, I'm not gonna argue with him. It's not really, in my opinion, a third movement. It's just kind of like a part 2 or the B side of the nav mode. There is another mode that I don't think a lot of you know about. There is what's called flight mode. Now, what that is it's just a HUD cleanup kind of thing. So if you go into nav mode, you're going to have all your quantum markers all over your screen and everything. If you don't want them there, you can go into flight mode. And in flight mode, you're still in nav mode. You can't use your weapons. You can't use countermeasures. You have no shields, but it removes all of the quantum markers and everything else from your screen. Like I said, is it a flight mode? No, it's more like a HUD cleanup. So there you go. I hope I helped somebody out with that.
That still can be disrupted and interdicted with special equipment. Generally, the idea for current Star Citizen design is either to sacrifice speed if you want to engage in combat, or sacrifice defenses if you want to do anything else. Overall, it seems that Star Citizen wants to make you rather vulnerable to those consequences of death, so that it looms over you like a giant shadow for every action you do. And ganking to become either intended or unintended, but rather big part of this universe. And speaking of ganking, their barely established crime and punishment system with prisons, bounties, a lawless system pyro, and whatnot else, well, they're just that, barely established, and I'll just leave it at that. So then, those are the general broad strokes, but let's say you want to know more. Optimize your loadouts and builds for ships and your FPS guy for this type of a game balance. Well then, let's take a quick peek at my foray, the FPS gameplay. What gun would, for example, deal the most damage in a single hit? Oh no. Okay, well, what about then armor? That's it? That's all the info I get? No, there's got to be some sort of a mistake.
No.
Well, okay, well, what about then the ships? Chris Roberts and Ben Lesnick really popularized every single little detail about these mega poly things. What stats do they have? What the fuck is this shit? Yeah, so this, even today, over 10 fucking years of development, is the most information you're being given.
You get A, B, C, or D, right? That's it. That's all you get for ship components. Weapons, it's a little bit different, but not. You're still not getting any good stats off of this, right? And same thing. You just wait for a day or two or a week, figure out, let other people figure out what the meta is if you don't want to work for it, and then just go and get all that stuff and slap it on your ship, right? There's no real hard stats for any of this stuff, and that's a problem. It's a big problem.
About the tools you get to play with. I just cannot fathom the logic of this stupidity.
Yeah, you're right. But there's no stats associated with that.
Still testing? No. I simply refuse to believe that these clowns for the last 10 years have been twiddling their fucking thumbs rather than designing and planning out even rudimentary game balance plan. But here it is. No.
See, I don't think that's game balance. I think that's just, it's called gameplay, right? And it's gameplay features, right? To have stats on your guns, to have stats on your armor, to have stats on your helmets, and actually have like a way to visualize those stats. Like I said, Call of Duty, Tarkov, everybody has a thing where if I put this attachment on, recoil goes up or it goes down. If I put this on, ergonomics goes up or gun handling goes up. But, you know, if I do this, it goes down, right? There is nothing like that in here. And we as Star Citizen players, as Yamix is saying, honestly, we're kind of owed this at this point. This is basic adventure RPG gaming stuff, right? Everything's got a stat, right? You log on to Oblivion or Skyrim. You go to Diablo, you go to Call of Duty, you go to Tarkov, you go to DayZ. It doesn't matter what game you go to, they all have stats. Easy way to view your stats on particular weapons and or attachments. That's horrifyingly true, Jim. Horrifyingly true.
No stats, no nothing. For ship weapons, basically the only difference is in sizes. The bigger the weapon, the more damage. But the weapons in the same size category have been defaulted to the same amount of damage. Ships don't have hull or shield HPs. Honestly, at this point, it's a fucking miracle that an FPS...
And that's another problem, right? You can't even go on Star Citizen's main website and look at all of this stuff. You have to go to a third-party website called Urkel to look at all of the ship damage, the ship HPs, the ship shield HPs. Like... yeah.
this guy has health bar in the first place.
Yeah,
Now,
that's
clearly
also
balancing
true.
the
They
game, and
do
especially over years with
they
more
do tweak some of the damage outputs of guns and then revert them, but we still need a way to visually see that. There's no way, like, you can't see that on anything Star Citizen has. You have to go to an outside source to find it.
More content and mechanics being added will change the balance, but Star Citizen to me seems to have never had begun planning on what the game balance would even look like. I mean, the fact that every ship weapon of the same size deals the same amount of damage is a clear indicator of this. And don't you even get me started on the FPS. I swear I will curb stomp the next, but it's all for Kool-Aid chugger that tries to excuse the lack of the stat and information sheets. There really is no excuse for any of this.
No.
But, as incompetent as this does not mean it can't be improved in the future. However, this still won't save Star Citizen from being unfair and unbalanced forever. Now, from what has been
Once
said
again,
and provided to
like,
the public,
I don't think a game like this will ever be fair or balanced. Like, you can make all the guns balanced, you can make all the shields balanced, all the armor balanced, you can make it everything 100% balanced. But when it comes to an actual fight and people want to win, it's still not going to be balanced.
public from
Wait
CIG
for the
about Star
stat blades.
Citizen and how it's supposed to work one day when the missing features are finally implemented, Star Citizen sounds like a ganker's paradise. Dumb ways to die, so many dumb ways to die, if you will. Very few protections for non-aggressors, even inside the so-called protected space. And hell, I didn't even touch the trading, base building, or production aspects, which each of them have their own problems, and lack of information about them.
Yes.
Citizens will be able to purchase land anywhere in the UEE and enjoy the security that comes with it. But civilians will have a couple of restrictions as to which standard planet is viable.
Now, the thing that frustrated me for years has been this glib attitude towards numbers in Star Citizen. How much damage
Scan
my
for
bullet
stats.
from my handgun does. How much shield strength does my ship have. What weapons my ships have. And what damage they do. These simple and basic questions are still unanswered for whatever reason. And it continues to give off the impression that the developers don't even have a basic, fundamental level of game balance in mind, let alone in writing or planned out. But when it comes to pumping out the ideas and features, they're quick to parade them around and promise the world. A term, all style, no substance, certainly comes to mind. However, even my frustrations with the lack of foundational level game design in Star Citizen is sadly eclipsed by even larger problem. The giant elephant in the room that completely throws any semblance of fair play and balance
She's
out
going to
the
say the
window.
pledge store.
No, it's not the long-term customers having grinded the gear and seal clubbing the new users. No, it's not even the gankers having attackers' advantage with crime and punishment system failing to protect or dissuade from bad acts. Hell, it's not even guilds or orgs curb stomping smaller groups or folk just going about solo. The sad reality, and I know this is a rather old dead horse of mine, but nevertheless it's a highly important one. It is the pay to win.
I knew
That's
he was
right,
going
every
there.
ship and item will be available to earn or collect in the finished game. Many backers provide extra support for development,
He looks sad because he's not going to make any money if it goes into game.
with concept ships, Voyager Direct items, and more. But all of these are entirely optional, and none of them will ever let players pay to win.
Observe. Developer, come here.
Could you whip me up some sort of amazing super ship that will let me win every dogfight? I can make it worth your while.
No, thank you.
What about $2 or $20?
No.
There you have it.
Now, this clip is absolutely
God.
misleading and wrong. See, pay to win very rarely is about exclusive to purchase gear.
Now, there isn't much to win in Star Citizen, so I don't like the term pay to win. I like the term pay to head start. That's kind of how I view Star Citizen. There's nothing to win, right? There's a pay to head start. That's what I believe. Especially if you're going the PvE Bob route. have a reclaimer you paid to advance. That's really it.
Here, whereas
Yeah,
anything
you're
that
right,
you can
Marcus.
purchase with real money and has any kind of mechanical function, yes, even such an innocuous thing as an XP booster is a pay-to-win. You're using real-world money to skip, circumvent, acquire,
miss that
or
game.
achieve
That's Warframe
something
right there.
in a game with a tangible effect, and that simply is pay-to-win. And boy, oh boy, can you do a lot of that in Star Citizen. In fact, there are far fewer things you can't achieve in Star Citizen right now than the things you can with a simple swipe of your credit card. And that, personally speaking, is utterly disgusting. In Star Citizen, with real cash, you could buy pretty much anything you could want. Cars, bikes, fucking tanks, spaceships, spaceship weapons, first-person shooter items, tools. Frankly, the only thing you can't seem to buy is cargo for trading. But then, what?
I don't think, and food items. Those are the only things that you can't buy.
Why bother when you can exchange real-world money for in-game money directly on top of everything? And if for some reason this somehow does not sound unfair, unbalanced, or disturbing, if not disgusting, I guess I simply can't reach you. But for anyone else, the reason why pay-to-win is so despised and such a dirty term is simple.
Oh
It's
yeah, you can,
legalized cheat.
You can buy UEC. You can buy, you can still buy the admin handbook for private servers. At least the last time I looked for it several months ago, maybe even a year ago now, it was still there. It was definitely still there.
Cheating. That's all it really is. The person toiling away to grind in-game credits to purchase a ship of his dreams earns it through hard work. It's the game's progression, as it should be. Alternatively, if you can simply slot in your credit card and get the thing right away, well, it either trivializes the so-called gameplay and the progression required to get the thing normally, or it's a simply legalized cheat. Either way you look at it, it's bad. Now, obviously, the dream of any self-respecting game designer is to create a deep and complex game with both challenging and fun gameplay. This is why the game balance is so important. For multiplayer games, to achieve a sense of challenge for everyone equally is to make it also equally fair and equally balanced. However, this is exactly the opposite of what pay-to-win does. And as for Star Citizen as a whole, I don't think you need me to explain how buying biggest, bestest ships in their class is bad, and how it tilts the Star Citizen.
I'm still, like, I could probably have a conversation about this for hours, but I don't feel that any one of these ships is worth more than $100. Like, I don't think a single one of them should be worth more than $100. Not one. Right? Because I don't know. I just don't feel like any ship should be worth more than $100. I would have to say I feel that most of the ships in Star Citizen should be like $20-$25.
Citizen balance
Allergic
forever.
Man, you have a good
And
one.
sadly, because of this, it becomes unbalanceable. Because here's the thing, you can either try to balance the Star Citizen progression, economy, or combat, ignoring that somebody could simply buy the tools right away, in which case you are either genuinely legitimizing cheating, or ignoring whatever economy or progression you are making. Or you do the opposite and balance Star Citizen and account for pay-to-win being a part of the system, in which case you penalize the non-paying customers. And most often that happens with excessive and pointless grind, so that either they cave in and spend money to skip the grind, or sit there like fucking idiots and toil away, making the default gameplay extremely unfun and, well, frankly speaking, boring, if not downright insulting. And this is the reason you can't simply say, but does Star Citizen even need to be fair and balanced? And that's the thing, sadly, Star Citizen will never be as fun, as
I still
fair,
disagree
as
with how he
balanced,
says
as
it, but
depthful, or as
I get his
rewarding
point.
as it could have been. Instead, it already has become nothing more than just a playground for the rich. Or, if you want to be more precise, the playground for the cheaters. Though I'm sure there are enough people who find this...
There's a huge amount of cheaters in the game right now that we know. Well, let me rephrase that. There are people that cheat in Star Citizen, and we know that they do. But it's very hard to distinguish who's cheating and if it's just a bad day on the server, right? So you can't exactly be like, oh, I found a cheater, because you don't know if the server's going to shit or if he's actually cheating. But there are people that cheat.
Type of environment, enjoyable or fun even. I just think that it's a shame how greed inherently ruins what games at least tend to be about.
Games are supposed to be fun.
And so, as usual, I thank the supporters on Patreon. Go check it out as well if you want to support
like the
my
Eclipse.
rants or endless dead horse beatings of bad game practices. Or maybe just simply let me know what I got wrong. Do tell me. Can Star Citizen still be fair and balanced even with pay to win? Or is it a lost cause?
I don't know, because like I said, I agree with some of the stuff he says, but then there's other stuff that he says that I disagree with. I think overall it was a pretty good video. Unfortunately, I know it's a short one. I know, I'm sorry guys. I'm sorry. But my back is killing me. My back is killing me. I need to take a shower and I got to get ready to go to bed because I might get called in the morning. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for stopping by. Thank you to JT and Allergic. You guys are great. I love you all. I'm going to try to be getting on here more often. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to try to at least do this once a week. All right. So you guys have yourself a great night, and I will talk to you guys later. So long. And thanks for the fish. Oh yes, for sure, Marcus, for sure. I'll contact you about that. You guys have a great day, great night, great day, whatever. Later, guys.